My neighbor finally admitted he poisoned my dog, but he didn't realize my security camera was recording the whole conversation. I was standing on my front porch when Vince walked over with that same smug expression he always wore. My golden retriever Max had been dead for 3 weeks. The vet said it looked like antifreeze poisoning, but they couldn't prove anything. I had my suspicions from day one. Vince had complained about Max barking exactly 4 times in the 2 years since I moved in. Each complaint got more aggressive. The last one ended with him screaming that he would handle the problem himself if I didn't. My phone sat in my pocket, connected to the security camera above my door that recorded everything with crystal clear audio. I needed him to say it out loud. I needed proof. Vince had been a nightmare neighbor from the moment I closed on my house. It started small. He parked his truck across half my driveway whenever he had guests over. When I asked him politely to move, he laughed and told me to relax. Then he started dumping his lawn clippings over the property line. I would wake up to piles of dead grass rotting against my fence. When I put up a security camera after someone keyed my car, he called the HOA and claimed I was surveilling his property. They sent me a warning letter. I installed the camera anyway, just pointed it at my own front door. Vince called me paranoid. He said I was the problem in this neighborhood, but the real problems were just beginning. 3 months ago, Vince escalated to something I never expected. He reported my dog to animal control, claiming Max had bitten his son. His son was 19 years old and lived 3 states away. I had to provide vet records proving Max had all his shots and had never shown aggression. The case was dismissed, but the investigation took 6 weeks. During that time, Max had to be quarantined inside my house. Vince stood at the property line every day smiling at me. He knew exactly what he was doing. He was making my life hell one complaint at a time. Then he started throwing things over the fence. I found chicken bones in my backyard twice. Max almost choked on one before I caught him. I filed a police report. They said there was nothing they could do without proof. 2 weeks after the chicken bone incidents, Max got sick. He started vomiting green fluid and couldn't stand up. I rushed him to the emergency vet at 11 at night. They pumped his stomach and ran tests. The vet looked at me with tired eyes and said it looked like ethylene glycol poisoning, antifreeze. She asked if I had any in my garage. I didn't. She asked if my dog could have gotten into a neighbor's property. I felt my whole body go cold. Max fought for 3 days. I slept on the floor of the veterinary ICU, holding his paw through the kennel bars. On the 3rd morning, his kidneys failed completely. I held him while they administered the injection. He was 4 years old. I drove home with his collar on my passenger seat and a receipt for $1,800 in emergency care that couldn't save him. I spent the next 3 weeks watching my security footage obsessively. I never caught Vince entering my property, but I noticed something else. Every night around 2 in the morning, a bowl appeared near my fence line on his side of the property. By morning, the bowl was always gone. I couldn't see what was in it. I couldn't prove anything, but I knew. The police told me suspicion wasn't evidence. They said I needed him to admit it, so I started planning. I mentioned to another neighbor that I was thinking about getting a new puppy. I knew she would tell Vince. Within 2 days, he was at my door asking about it. I invited him onto my porch to talk. The camera was already recording. I told him I was worried about getting another dog after what happened to Max. I said I still didn't understand how he got poisoned. Vince's eyes flickered with something dark. He leaned against my porch railing and crossed his arms. Dogs get into things, he said. It happens. I pushed harder. I said the vet told me it was definitely antifreeze, that someone had to have given it to him deliberately. Vince shrugged. His voice dropped lower. Maybe if you'd trained him to shut up, none of this would have happened. My hands started shaking, but I kept my voice steady. What do you mean by that, Vince? He looked around to make sure no one was watching. Then he stepped closer to me. I mean, I solved the problem, he said quietly. That mutt barked every single day. I warned you. I gave you chances. The antifreeze worked faster than I expected, honestly. I thought he'd just get sick enough to scare you into moving. I felt my chest collapse. You killed my dog on purpose. He smiled. Prove it. I pulled out my phone and showed him the screen. The security camera app was open, displaying the live recording with a timestamp. His face went white. I told him every word he just said was captured in high-definition audio and video. The smile vanished. He lunged for my phone, but I stepped back through my front door. He screamed that I had entrapped him, that the recording was illegal. I told him my state was one-party consent, and I was the one party. He tried to push past me into my house. I slammed the door and locked it. Through the window, I watched him punch my porch railing so hard his knuckles split open. I called the police while he stood in my yard screaming that I had ruined his life. The officers arrested Vince that afternoon for animal cruelty and attempted forced entry.